Hello, everybody. Welcome along. I am reacting to the news that Darren Moore is no longer the manager of Sheffield Wednesday. He has left the club by mutual consent. We're going to go a bit old school here. No production, no script. I'm just going to react off the cuff to what is, frankly, a bit of shocking news. It's been a day for it today with Gary O'Neill going from Bournemouth after guiding them to 15th. But I think we can up the ante in the shock stakes here and say this is 2, 3, 4 levels above on the Richter scale on the basis that Darren Moore has just got Sheffield Wednesday promoted back to the Championship, infamously scoring 96 points in a bit of a freak season. Frankly, most other years you would be champion of pretty much most divisions with 96 points. And then going through the playoffs, adversity after adversity, coming back from 4 goals deficit to win that second leg and get through on penalties, and then win at the final in the 123rd minute of extra time. My point being, you would think Darren Moore had earned himself a go at the Championship, but what do I know? What do you know? I'd love you to get your takes in via the comments. It's a decision that I know will completely split the comments in half. A lot of people will go with the kind of reflexive sympathy and say, well, look, this is completely mental and he should have got a chance. Others will dig in maybe to the fact that it wasn't a convincing promotion and that he just scraped over the line, and will use that as their argument to say, okay, maybe a change was indeed the right thing. Let's just have a look on the Wednesday website there. I'll read the quotes from the always interesting Mr. Chansiri, the owner there. Both parties believe that now is the right time we go our separate ways. I mean, both parties agreeing isn't necessarily the same as both parties going into the room thinking that's the right idea and the only option. But I wasn't there. I don't know. I'll let you guys speculate in the comments. The journey of Sheffield Wednesday with Darren has been in many ways unique. I agree with that. And always, as a team in the football industry, journeys come to an end. And now is the time which we both agree. Mutual respect we have for each other is immense on a personal and professional basis. And I offer my sincere thanks for the dedication and commitment Darren has given to our club. Darren will always be welcome at Hillsbrough. There's some quotes from Darren Moore, but I'm not going to read them because what I will say is what we know about Darren Moore is he is magnificently statesmanlike. And that has been one of the big feathers in his cap this season. I think Sheffield Wednesday is a huge club and at League One level, just gargantuanly big, really. And it was a bit of a madhouse at times there. And he was, I think, exactly the right guy in terms of how he handled all of that pressure, all of that expectation for a club that really, historically and by size and stature, hasn't really operated at that level with the idea that they should be higher up. Just delving into my memories of watching Darren Moore's teams, and there is a little bit of the Scott Parker, and I'm not comparing the two managers completely directly, but this idea that a guy has been successful, but people kind of question it, not quite as extreme as Scott Parker, who's obviously got 2 promotions from the Championship in 2 seasons. And on both occasions, fans of those teams were a little bit, is this good? Is this bad? I don't know, but up we go, and I'll take it. And the debate raged. I remember I was actually at Darren Moore's last game at West Brom. They played Ipswich, and it looked a bit of a mess, frankly. And that was the season they had Barnes, Gale, and Rodriguez for the first half of the season. Really looked like they could fire their way to promotion. I will say in Darren Moore's defence, that was the infamous 18-19 Championship season, which I would say is the highest standard probably of the last 10, 15 years in the Championship, with Norwich and Sheffield United, Farker and Wilder in first and second, Bielsa in third. I believe West Brom were fourth, and then Aston Villa went on a huge tear. In Derby, you had Lampard and Tomori, Mount and Wilson. So this is the thing. There's always both sides of the argument there. He was sacked by West Brom. He went off to Doncaster then, got them in the playoffs. And Go and look at the league table from last season in League Two and see where Doncaster finished, and you can maybe ascertain that was a good job. He then jumped to Sheffield Wednesday during the COVID period. They were already in bother, and they went down with Darren Moore. They get down with points deduction again. So there is two sides to the argument. Last season, lots of points in League One for Moore and for Sheffield Wednesday. They lost very late in a playoff semi-final against Sunderland. This season, even more points. And I was really following this season very closely, done a lot of coverage you've hopefully seen on the channel during the year. And I have to say, around January, February time especially, I was looking at Sheffield Wednesday as nailed on for automatic promotion. They were absolutely banging it out of the park, 23 games undefeated. And then the wheels just fell off, didn't they? And not only did the wheels fall off, but Wednesday were completely in the wrong place at the wrong time, as Plymouth were basically relentless all season. They went over 100 points, I think, didn't they, in the end? And my lot, Ipswich, went on this mad streak, I think 13 out of 15 wins in the last third of the season. Wednesday still got through, and we've mentioned, I don't need to mention again, that amazing playoff semi-final. And I was at the playoff final where they won late on. So the wisdom of this decision, I guess I look at both scenarios. If I look at and I do think I'm probably, you're going to want my opinion, you're going to give yours in the comments. I think I'm probably in the I would not have sacked Darren Moore camp, I have to say. Not out of any sense of, emotion or sympathy. I just think he was on the right track. I think he got the club. It's tough in League One. The expectations will obviously drop a little bit in the Championship. But look, this is still a club that's going to immediately go straight to the top of the, with Sunderland and Leeds and Southampton and Leicester in terms of the biggest fan bases and the highest attendance. I know people joke about, attendance at FC and all that, but it does bring the pressure and it does bring the emotion and the expectation. And he was very used to managing that. Someone else is going to have to go into that cauldron that Hillsbrough can be. On the flip side of it, I do agree with some of the questions that are asked, maybe tactically, strategically. I think Sheffield Wednesday last season was built to get out of League One. I mean, for goodness sake, they took two players from neighbours Rotherham, who had literally just the team that had won the division. Did Wigan win it? I got promoted automatically out of the division the year before, and the likes of Josh Windass, Gregory, Bannon was maintained, and Callum Patterson, players like that, Aidan Flint, very much looked like players who are ready to get someone out of League One this season. So I will buy the argument as well that undefeated streak, there was a bit of a sense of there's a lot of clean sheets, a lot of good defensive displays where quite sort of low margin victories, but 23 games undefeated is 23 games undefeated. I find it quite hard to sort of pick holes in that. So why has Mr. Chansiri done this? Maybe he obviously believes that Darren Moore's not the guy to take Wednesday on. I'm not necessarily buying the mutual consent thing. I don't know. Again, I'm not there. But if an owner wants to keep a manager, surely a manager who's just scored 96 points, epically won in the playoff semi-final and won with the last touch of the ball in the final at Wembley, with just the entire half of Wembley filled with Sheffield Wednesday fans in the sunshine there. I don't see why that manager would want to step away. And again, I'm not there. I'm just kind of surmising from what I know. Is there somebody lined up? I mean, with this Bournemouth situation I referenced earlier in the video that was earlier today, as we're recording this on the Monday, a new manager was pretty much unveiled just a couple of hours after. So that was already all in the works. I don't know. Will that be the case here at Sheffield Wednesday? Who would be the right person to jump in there? Remember, there's open jobs in the Championship. The Swansea job, I think when Russ Martin finally goes to Southampton, the Swansea job will be open, and the playoff finalists, losing finalist, Mike Duff of Barnsley, their manager is being linked there. The Leeds job is open. The Leicester job has just been filled with Maresca as well. I'm probably missing one. I don't think I am, but sorry if I have missed one. Like I said, I'm going off the cuff here. What I'm saying is there are other people looking for managers in Championship land, and there are other teams local to Sheffield Wednesday with parachute payments looking for. It's a competitive market, but it's a job that lots of managers would like. We think the Championship's going to be hard this season, but hey, Darren Moore has just come from League One where he scored 96 points and didn't get automatically promoted. So I'm sure Sheffield Wednesday would have been fit to cope with a bit of a high standard at the top there. So look, my take for what it's worth, I'm surprised. I wouldn't have done it. I guess it will come out in the wash. By the way, I wouldn't have done it. Doesn't mean this is the wrong call in the future. We have, and this again, I'll mention the Bournemouth one. Lots of comparisons were made to Southampton changing out Nigel Adkins years ago, and the whole football world went, "What are you doing? This is bonkers." And then I think Pochettino replaced him, and Southampton just went from strength to strength. So sometimes it can be incredibly harsh. Maybe feel a bit unfair, and that human part of us that, because let's be honest, everybody likes Darren Moore. He's just a great guy, and the way he was so calm, we've seen plenty of managers at plenty smaller clubs than Sheffield Wednesday completely lose the plot. When fans are questioning them, when the pressure's on, and the adversity in terms of scoring those points and in the playoffs. I'm repeating myself now. He just dealt with it in, again, statesman-like is the word I would use. So we have that human side where we go, oh, well, this sucks, but it might be the right decision. Anyway, let's stop there before I ramble. This is why I write a script and don't go off the cuff too much. By the way, if you like me going off the cuff, let me know and I'll do it a little bit more often and we can react nice and quickly. But I now want you to react in the comments. Let me know. What do you think? What is Mr. Chansiri thinking? Why has he done this? Is it the right decision? Is it the wrong decision? Is it a harsh decision, but ultimately a fairly logical decision? I'm probably in the I wouldn't have done it camp, but what do I know? I could be wrong. Let me know your answers to a million questions and the new $64,000 Hillsbrough Sheffield Wednesday question. Who replaces Darren Moore? And are we going to find out in a couple of hours' time like we did in the Bournemouth example? Let me know what you think. And I will pop up here. If you want to stay with the channel and see the very last thing Darren Moore did at Sheffield Wednesday, check out my vlog from the playoff final. He's just got them promoted in dramatic fashion. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. Darren Moore out of Sheffield Wednesday by mutual consent, days before the fixtures come out, 1 month before the season starts, having just got them promoted.